the Kickstarter campaign, can you talk about how much that helped, or, you know, how important or unimportant crowdfunding is these days?
We had no idea what Kickstarter was when it was brought up to us. In fact, I never even heard of that word before. So we had to do our homework and research and saw what it even meant. Kind of got our hands into it really quick and realized just by reading other people's campaigns, successful ones, unsuccessful ones, we just knew what we needed to do to make it a successful campaign, which was what's the least amount of money we need to record, just to record the songs. Then we can go to a record label and ask for money and a producer and all that stuff. And it ended up just raising a ton of money. So we were able to literally track the record, edit it, mix it, master it, album cover, paid for, everything. So we had final product in our hand. So to answer your question, it was a huge help from the Kickstarter backers. And all they did was basically pre-order the album. You know, a lot of people that don't know about Kickstarter or didn't understand what Obituary was doing, they're like, how can a band beg for money? And all we did was say, just pre-order the record, or buy all the cool shit we're offering you guys. And whether you guys want to come to Florida and hang out with us, or you want to buy the snare drum that was on the third album, all that stuff. So it was a cool experience. It was a little weird, I have to admit. It felt a little bit like begging for a band, but it is what it is. I think it felt weird because it was one of the first death metal bands that successfully did it. I think that's why it was weird for everybody. I think, but
I think it's all in what you offer. A lot of bands will just say, "Oh, well, you can get our album when it's done."
Right.
And we'll have drinks with you.
Right.
And it's not worth it.
Right.
But I think the successful campaigns offer an experience, and that's something you can't really put a monetary value on. And that's the value of crowdfunding, is that you can. Almost.
That's true. You're absolutely right. And we tried to do some really cool stuff for people that wanted to take the time and pull out their credit cards. You know, anyone that wanted to get something cool. We gave away a lot of my symbols from the past and the experience. We had people that actually came and flew to Florida and was at the release party with us. That's like the experience like you're speaking of. And I saw it in those the people that came, that the excitement they had. They thought it was so cool that they not only helped contribute, and not only were a part of a cool event that we offered them, but we became friends. You know, like literally they're friends of ours now, and I think that means a lot to them.
Yeah, I think as a fan, it's hard to get close these days.
Right.
And that's one of the things that the Kickstarter experience and crowdfunding can offer, is that closeness that you wouldn't really get anymore.
Right.
Because you can stand outside the bus all night, but somebody's probably not going to come out.
Right, and even if they did, it's that very quick handshake, maybe even a signing and a quick photo, and that's about all you're going to get. And that's really all bands need to offer fans. You know, sometimes it gets a little too personal, especially with social networking nowadays.
Yeah.
Just, you know, people have so many opinions, and it's the ones with the negative opinions that speak the most.
Why'd you wear those pants today, man?
Right. Yeah, anything but music. So it was a cool experience. I mean, honestly, for the band to try to fulfill 900 orders in the garage where we practice was one of the biggest challenges. That was a nightmare because we couldn't start too early. We weren't allowed to give the album away 3 weeks early because it would have been on the internet. It would have been big problems.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it too late because people would then be waiting weeks afterwards after release. So it was like that. We had 4 days to do 900 orders, and it was.
What were your shifts like?
It sucked. It was just 8-hour days of just, all right, these 167 people get the poster, the koozie, the hat. Then you got to pick out, make sure you got the correct shirt size. Then it turned into a huge. I mean, we were like a redneck sweatshop in Florida. It was crazy.
So was it hard to pick what experiences you would offer your fans through Kickstarter?
I just think we went in full blown as everything we can offer, and if we ever do it again, which would be a tough decision for us, next time we would be a little bit smarter on how many things we had to offer, because it's different. You know, it's one thing when you're giving everyone a hat, when it's the same size hat fits all, but different style shirts and different sizes for each person, and the drumstick that fits in here and it doesn't fit in this box, and you got to figure out how you do. It was a nightmare logistically, but we did it, and I'm glad we did it, but it was a monster of a project.
Oh, I bet. I've seen some where people can come record. If you paid so much, you got to lay guitar tracks down. I don't know if I would. Yeah. Like, I don't even know if this guy can play guitar, but he paid enough, so.
Exactly, and we kind of thought about that as well when we offered people to fly to the studio and be at the release party with us. We were like, man, what happens if what if 1,700 people want to do that? We got full blown. I mean, thank God it was only
a big venue.
It was only 3 or 4 people that got to bring a friend, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, we were going to find a venue if it turned into that, and just the security of the band and the studio and letting people know where we actually live.
Yeah,
we didn't think about that until we were done with it. We're like, wow, so this dude from Texas is flying here. I hope he's all right. Hope he's mentally stable.
That would definitely turn out horribly.
Yeah.
So the new album, can you say anything, any love, hate, just what are your thoughts on it so far?
The new album is, the crowd reply and response right now and the radio love is incredible right now. It's the best we've seen in 29 years of being a band. We hit the top 100 on Billboard at 75 the first week sales. Yesterday, record label just told us we're #1 on CMJ radio play right now. So for a death metal band, it's incredible. For Obituary, it's out of this world. It's like I can't even comprehend that we're getting more plays on college radio right now than any other band. Especially when Exodus album's out and just the Carcass record's still spinning and just Slipknot and there's so much other shit out there. So I guess that's a good thing. I think it proves that we wrote a pretty solid album, and we couldn't be happier about the record, band member wise.
Do you have a next one in thoughts at all, or not even yet? That's too much.
Oh God, no! It came out 3 Tuesdays ago. We're going to be very busy. Like 2015 has already been booked. We already know what we're going to do. Every corner of the planet, and it's already turning into confirming 2016. That's how music world, that's how far in advance you actually start getting talked about and thought of and starting to have to make decisions and pencil things in on the calendar. So yeah, and for God's sakes, Inked in Blood, we're going to work it for a couple years because it took us 4 to write it. So we're gonna ride this thing as long as we can because we're proud of it.
Do you think the ground that you gained from this album and any sort of change in sound would change the dynamics of a future album, or do you think you're still going to keep your grassroots and keep touch on what you...
I think the Obituary logo, you have no choice. Even if we wanted to try and change, which we never would because just the type of people we are metalheads, we do love the music that we write. But it's bigger than one person. The logo alone is epic for fans around the world, and we understand that. We take that role seriously, and we're going to stick with what we do well, which is that basic mid-tempo, groovy type style music. We'll leave the technical stuff for every other band on this planet.
So modern death metal, has it changed? What, in your opinion, is different about what's